Bureau. John Cohen joins us right now, athletics director at Mississippi State. The last time we talked, John, we were talking around the idea of a couple of teams joining the SEC. I think we can talk a little bit more specifically about that now, as everything is official with Texas and Oklahoma joining the league in a couple of years. From your perspective, from Mississippi State's perspective, why is this a good thing for the league?
Well, I think it's obvious that this helps the brand of our league, which was already an incredibly strong brand. Obviously, the history and backgrounds of both Texas and Oklahoma add to what is already the premier league in the country. So we're excited. This is not just a football thing. It's really all sports. And, you saw what Texas did in the College World Series, just as an example. But certainly this is going to increase the brand of not only our league, but all the sports within our league. And I think that, there's no question this is something that really benefits Mississippi State and the Southeastern Conference.
Whether it's July 1, 2025, when this actually happens, or sooner, we'll just wait and see when that happens. But obviously, from a football perspective, and really all the other sports as well, but specifically football, scheduling has got to be talked about. There are a lot of people that have talked about quads or pods, where you go 4-team, 8-team divisions, 9 conference games. Do you have a preference when you think about a future scheduling model?
Well, certainly. This is one of those hot button topics, and as an athletic director, all of us have the best interest of our institution, but we also have the best interest of the league at heart. And, I think it's almost exactly like last year when we went through COVID. There were probably athletic directors and coaches who were not pleased with the schedule that the league gave them. So I don't think everybody's going to be happy with what's going to happen. But I do know this: we have some really smart people with vision, who are going to make the decisions. And I think that all the issues with scheduling can be worked out.
Wasn't there already kind of a concern about the model that we were currently in, where you have teams that don't come to your place for 12 or 13 years?
Yeah, I've always made that point. Football is that one sport where, maybe an Eastern Division team, Kentucky plays Alabama once every 6 years, and they have to go into Bryant-Denny Stadium once every 12 years. Yeah. I really don't think – listen, it has worked, and certainly our league isn't broken currently. But when you look at the matchups, especially over the last 12 to 14 years, there's no question that there are some schedules that are more difficult than others. And I would, before adding teams to our league, I was a proponent of us readjusting the schedule in some way.
John, everybody knows college athletics is big business these days. Has there been a number quoted amongst you guys of what you could expect the addition of Texas and Oklahoma to add in terms of revenue to the conference?
Yeah, I think that's impossible to know at this point. I think in the beginning it's probably close to a revenue neutral situation, just because of the way things are going to work out. Again, long term, do I think it helped financially? For sure. But I don't think this is a short-term huge gain financially. I think it's a short-term, again, add to the brand of the Southeastern Conference.
Hey, mark that down, by the way. That was Haydad that asked a money question, not me. Just decided to trade hats there for a second.
I have another money question for him if you want me to go that way.
Do it.
I've had a bunch of people ask me this on my podcast, and I don't know the answer. So since I got you, here you go. What is the financial impact of a national championship?
I don't think I'll know that for a year. There's been such a great response, and I think you'd have to ask our retailers. I don't have the numbers yet on, our branding partners, but I think our retailers have done very well with this, and I think there's a lot of excitement within the confines of the athletic department in general. I think there's no question, our fans are getting the opportunity to, and they deserve to stick their chest out a little bit and point that number one finger in the air and say this was our time. And I think there's no question that adds to every part of our university, and I'm sure financially, but we won't know the answer to that until we get to the end of the fiscal year next year.
Which finger is that people are supposed to point in the air?
For you, it's a different one, Richard.
The correct finger. The number one finger.
Yeah, that's well played. Well played.
How about the foam finger that people put up? How about that one?
There you go.
John, we didn't want to be talking about COVID-related stuff again, but here we are with the spike of the Delta variant. You get the announcement yesterday from all 8 colleges and universities in Mississippi that there's going to be an indoor mask mandate, and hopefully it's a temporary thing. I think everybody's releases said temporary. What are you doing in terms of planning? I mean, are you going back and revisiting conversations from a year ago? Do you feel good about moving forward as is with full stadium capacity? What's your mindset, and what are you doing on a daily basis right now?
Well, the only reason we're not going to make our entire stadium available to fans is if we get state and local guidance that tell us that's what we have to do, and we'll respect that. But at this point, we don't anticipate that. Of course, there's no question that an outdoor event is much different than an indoor event. The leadership we have in the state right now, especially here at Mississippi State under Dr. Mark Keenum, he has tremendous vision, and I think what he's doing right now is very wise. He's listening to all the right people and, being very cautious right now so that we can be aggressive later on. I think Greg Sankey calls this, walking before you or crawling before you're walking. We got to get back to normal, and I think this is something that's going to help us do that.
In terms of the encouragement process with student athletes for vaccination, I know you're not going to talk about specific numbers. Are you pleased with the progress that you're making toward getting to whatever threshold is encouraged or required by the league?
Yeah, and especially as a department. And again, we can we encourage? Yes, we're not going to tell anybody that they have to do anything. I want to make that clear. But for the most part, I think we have done a really good job in this area. I think we've taken all the precautions. Mary McClendon runs all of our sports medicine department and has just done an incredible job in this area. And I think one of the keys, too, is just constantly educating. Is the environment always changing? Does the educational component change a little bit at times? Yeah, absolutely. But, the message of being safe, making good decisions, all those things are just crucial. And I'm really proud of where our staff and our student athletes are.
A few weeks ago, we were talking about this. I guess it was while we were at SEC Media Days where it seemed to be such a big topic. And I kind of used the analogy of a carrot versus a stick. You would like to reward versus punish. Is there any way to incentivize your student athletes beyond just, hey, these are the facts and we're encouraging you to do it?
Yeah, I think there are a ton of incentives, both internal and external. And, I've been reading about this not only on our campus with our student body, but in the state of Louisiana, reading about an incentive program at Auburn University. So, yeah, I think this is something that's pretty common, and I think that it's, not out of line at this point to encourage folks to get vaccinated.
Where are you in terms of ticket sales, season tickets, excitement building, and kind of the numbers that coincide with the start of a new year?
Yeah, we're at 75%, and I'm pretty pleased with that. Really concerned about, coming off a COVID year for a variety of reasons, but I think our percentage of season tickets sold is much higher than a lot of places around the country right now. And we just feel so privileged to have fans that, these are knowledgeable people who really get what we're trying to do and have been incredibly supportive, and we just can't thank them enough.
We're certainly all looking forward to the start of the season, and hopefully everybody will need do what they need to do to make that happen. Always appreciate your time, John. Good visiting with you.
Thank you, guys.